will close before 4 or something or around that time, because we want to give the security chiefs time to have a conversation with us. And I request the media people keenly report on these matters. Don't lose the gist of it. You know, sometimes we focus it on something which was said a bit negative only. But we want to use this for the education of our people. You can even run your news in series because there's so much that you are capturing from here. Having said that, Father, we have lunch. Bless it as we partake in Jesus' name. Amen. There must be some tickets flying around. They may ask. Don't say that, do you know me? You will intimidate my young people there who are serving, and then they will just close their eyes. Because some of you are well decorated. So please, just follow the rules of engagement. Bon appetit. Have a nice lunch. Thank you. We are coming. Yes, you will still come, because I will give you one minute or so to say something, and then we transition to the presentation of the RPC.
Hello? 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 Này này này. Cái dân mà người ta quan kề.
This is DJ Zero Pro UG.
in the innocent days, there was a young cowboy who was in love with a Mexican girl. Only she didn't know it. And he would watch her as Senorita. And he studied her reaction. And by the time the spring rain
Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Were you in the yard with your wife and children, or working on some stage in LA? Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor, or did you just sit down and cry? Did you weep for the children who lost their dear loved ones? Pray for them who don't know. Did you rejoice for the people who walked from the rubble and sob for the ones left below? Did you burst out with pride for the red, white, and blue, and the heroes who died just doing what they do? Did you look up to heaven for some kind of answer and look at yourself and what really matters? I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us, and the greatest is love. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Teaching a class full of innocent children, or driving down some cold interstate? Did you feel guilty cause you're a survivor? In a crowded room, did you feel alone? Did you call up your mother and tell her you loved her? Did you dust off that Bible at home? Did you open your eyes? Hope it never happened. Close your eyes and not go to sleep. Did you notice the sunset the first time in ages? Speak to some stranger on the street. Did you lay down at night, think of tomorrow, go out and buy you a gun? Did you turn off that violent old movie you're watching and turn on I Love Lucy reruns? Did you go to a church and hold hands with some strangers, stand in line and give your own blood? Did you just stay home and cling tight to your family? Thank God you had somebody to love. I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I want to see it, but I'm not sure I can tell the difference in I rock and I rap. Kiss me like you'll never see my face again. Soft and tender as you can. Hold me like we'll never make sweet love again. Please make me feel like a man. Oh, let's send up a prayer for this love that we share. 'Cause it could change in the blink of an eye. No, you just never know how tomorrow will go. So let's make sure we kiss goodbye. Oh, let's make sure we kiss goodbye. 0, 0, 0, 0. Look at me just like the day we fell in love. Found the missing pieces to our soul. You and me have always fit just like a glove. Wherever you are feels like home. So let's send up a prayer for this love that we share. 'Cause it could change in the blink of an eye. No, you just never know how tomorrow will go. So let's make sure we kiss goodbye. Oh, let's make sure we kiss goodbye.
Hail the King, it's your boy DJ Zero Pro UG. The wheels came from Swag Zero DJs Entertainment.
You placed gold on my finger. You brought love like I've never known. You gave life to our children and to me a reason to go on. You're my bread when I'm hungry. You're my shelter from troubled winds. You're my anchor in life's ocean. But most of all, you're my best friend. When I need hope and inspiration, you're always strong. When I'm tired, my bread when I'm hungry. You're my shelter from troubled winds. You're my anchor in life's ocean. But most of all, you're my best friend. You're my friend when I'm hungry. You're my shelter.
I can feel the magic floating in the air. Being with you fits me that way. I watch the sunlight dance across your face, and I've never been this swept away. All my thoughts just seem to settle on the breeze. When I'm lying wrapped up in your arms, the whole world just fades away. The only thing I hear is the beating of your heart. And I can feel you breathe, it's washing over me, and suddenly I'm melting into you. There's nothing left to prove, and baby, all we need is just to be caught up in the touch, slow and steady rise. Baby, isn't that the way that love's supposed to be? I can feel you breathe.
My God, Bobby, you can do it. Yeah.
Closer than I've ever felt before. And I know, and you know, there's no need for words right now.
Yeah. Abino? Huh? Abino? Bino na yala kutia. Nanti abino yawa. Ini ko tuwa yo. Yo tuwa yo. Mero sai da Chelsea. Music ni lo dia mai masu. Abino? No.
never been this close to anyone or anything. I can hear your thoughts, I can see your dreams. I don't know how you do what you do. I'm so in love with you. It just keeps getting better. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you by my side, forever and ever. Every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you. The smell of your skin, taste of your kiss, the way you whisper in the dark, your hair all around me, baby, you surround me, touch every place in my heart. Oh, it feels like the first time, every time. I wanna spend the whole night in your eyes. I don't know how you do what you do. I'm so in love with you. It just keeps getting better. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you by my side, forever and ever. Every little thing that you Good morning, beautiful. How was your night? Mine was wonderful. With you by my side. And when I opened my eyes to see your sweet face, it's a good morning, beautiful day. I couldn't see the light. I didn't know day from night. I had no reason to care. But since you came along, I can face the dawn. 'Cause I know you'll be there. Good morning, beautiful. How was your night? Mine was wonderful. With you by my side, and when I open my eyes, see your sweet face. It's a good morning, beautiful day. I never worry if it's raining outside. Then here with you, girl, the sun always shines. Swag Zero DJs. Good morning, how was your night? Well, you know I'm not much good without you. Zero, zero, zero. So I gave up and decided that I'm wrong. It's DJ Zero. No, there's really not much news to tell you. The Wheels King. Things I feel and everything is all.
Yes, we're back. We're thinking about 4. We should be almost. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Our session is resuming. Our session is resuming. Thank you. I know with the lunch, you have to do some battle fronts. Avoid shutting down in a session where you have to contribute. You try to fight the slumbering and then the sleep. Please, thank you. Welcome back to session. I will give our team here, each of them, just a minute. They are parting shots, and then they will get back and resume their seats. Thereafter, we'll welcome the RPC for the presentation. We transition to the plenary, and I want to integrate the plenary with recommendations and commitments so that both the plenary and way forward can be one agenda. We will not talk and then later again we go to way forward. You talk now with way forward. And maybe from the panelists, they can also provide some recommendations straight away and any commitments they have towards this election, because we want to be peaceful. Peace is good. Peace is good. And we must not degenerate. As a country, we have gone through many things. And I think that many nations have laughed at us, but we may become a model in the world. While others degenerate, God will help us to be a learning nation. Many will come here to learn from our history. as well. So we should be able to build one country under God. Good. I think all the panelists are now finally back here. And we had started from the extreme right. This time we'll start from the Honorable Daniel. His parting statements. If there are any commitments, I just request that 1 minute should be enough so that we then transition to the next session. Welcome,
Thank you.
sir.
My parting shot is that unless Uganda allows democracy to work, we have no future for sustainable peace and development. I know Uganda is a young country, 63 years. We may not be able to compare ourselves to the older Western democracies. But we cannot discover things which are new. For example, if we want democracy to work, we need basic things like rule of law, respect of human rights and freedoms, respect of the constitution or constitutionalism, and so on and so on. And let us keep the security forces, and I want to emphasize this, keep the security forces out of our politics, especially electoral politics. We have suffered enough in Uganda since 1966 because people, even civilians, misuse security forces for purposes of state power. You know what happened in 1966. You know what happened in 1971. You know what happened now in 1979, 80, when all those years, then Museveni went to the bush. You know what happened with the coup of 1988, 85. You know the years that Museveni came from the bush and 20-year war in Luero plus the North. All this should teach Uganda that the best form of government is a civilian democratic government elected regularly by the people in a free and fair election without interference by the military.
Thank you.
And we must create conditions where democracy can work. We have many examples. I have mentioned it. You have seen how the two Sudans have suffered. Yesterday, there was a coup in Guinea-Bissau, if you were not aware. There's a coup there, they gun again. So the future of Uganda lies in allowing democracy to work. Don't misuse the security forces. Just fellow security forces people. I have seen how you people, you security people have suffered since 1966. How many of you have died because some greedy people in power want to misuse you? When there is a violent change, the people who suffer most may be civilian, women and children, but also those who suffer most are the security forces. Your brothers, well-trained officers who have died in 66, 71, 79, 80, 85, 86, and so on. So some of us, when we talk like this, we are not against the security forces. We need the army. We need the police. We need you for purposes of security and peace of the country. But what we don't want is anybody to misuse you for his power greed. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mzee. I'll just pass it. If we can just keep it brief, we'll be grateful.
Thank you once again. The only thing I can say is you, the leaders, should come and educate us, the young youth, because as my fellow youth said that people are doing all this due to greed, but no, the insecure politicians that are insecure about themselves are the ones putting youth into this condition. And these people are accepting this because they are not educated enough. But if you, our leaders, comes and educate us, we will say no to such things. And we will not do that. Oh, you get when that we youth, we don't know about being educated, whereby most of the youth got their PDM and they're not being educated about all these things they use on drugs, drinking, and they make no benefits of that. Yet there are very many projects that their PDM that they've got would lift them up with this. But due to the less education that we are not got from our leaders in the upper positions are leading to violence in democracy. So as youth, we need to be educated, and I'm emphasizing on that, and I'm begging our leaders to work on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our daughter. I think she has really been calling on issue of engaging young people, educating them, which we have to take seriously. Yes.
Thank you very much. My parting shots will be one observation. What I saw in 1980, I'm seeing it today. So what change has been there? Because in 1980, I was a first year student. Some people who wanted to contest were detained. Some people who wanted to contest were detained and they could not register.
1980.
1980, they couldn't be nominated. And it is the same thing which the Electoral Commission is doing. Go back, you know, some people, and now some people have gone unopposed. And it was the same in 1980 where some people went unopposed. And I'm seeing it repeated. But for women's participation in politics, what we've been doing in the past and which we missed to do was educating candidates on how to carry out good elections, winning elections. And after being voted in, we also still trained them on how to debate effectively in the councils. We did this in some districts like Bulisa, Utuke, Lira, municipality. And I wish we could still continue with the same. And anyway, what is coming out from the Women's Situation Room is there are women who are going to be trained very soon to monitor the electoral process and to ensure that human rights are observed and to ensure peaceful elections.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nothing is new under the sun.
Few things emerge. One, issues of giving out money during campaigns. Dear members gathered here, as police as an institutions, we cannot become the complainant, the investigating team, the ones that compile the files and let us submit to the state. Some of those things may be there, but I'm wondering whether Awitong can bring those ones to come and complain and we support them. But otherwise, the law is there. We have the Presidential Electoral Act and Parliamentary Act, even Local Government Act is there. It is within those laws. The issue of the journalists, a question came that were there other journalists? I think this can be answered by what the commissioner gave an example of what the other journalist was saying when a candidate is campaigning, telling lies, something like that. I think what is very key here, let us call a spade a spade. Whether the other journalist was on the wrong or on the right, there was no ground for beating him. There are procedures that must be followed. First, this journalist comes from a particular media house. Have we made contact with that media house? If not, there is Uganda Communications Commission that handles this journalist individually if at all the management has failed to handle him. We have seen this, UCC writing letters to management of a particular media house, suspending journalists from conducting themselves. So I think my brother from UPC and Nope, kindly, if such scenarios are there, let us follow the rightful procedures. Finally, police as an institutions, like it has been said here, it is true there may be some individual challenges by our officers who are on the ground, but we have leadership structures that clearly tells how a police officer should conduct himself while implementing any laws of this country. A case in point, we can, as supervisors, issue what we call a proactive directives, and this normally comes at the strategic leadership. When meeting is being done, recommendations are made, there is what we call a standard operating procedures. It guides how a police officer should conduct himself while implementing operations, because at the end of the day, these same supervisors are supposed to enforce professionalism, discipline, by upholding individual subordinates accountable for their action. Fortunately, we have Human Rights Enforcement Act, which is very operational. And if an officer conducts himself in a manner which contravenes the law, he will be taken on as an individual.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. But as a police, we have a vision and a mission, which is very clear. Our vision is a professional and a people-centered police for a safe and a secure society.
Thank you.
Mission is very clear. We are to secure life and property in partnership with the public in a committed and professional manner in order to promote sustainable development. So when we are here gathered among these stakeholders, we are in the rightful place.
Absolutely.
We are here sharing ideas to see that we work as a team. I thank you.
Thank you, Afande. Yes, James, just quickly.
Thank you. Civil society organizations would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody, especially in Lira City. So far, apart from the issue of the media, the process is still smooth and peaceful. And now I wish we could maintain it until the end of the elections would be good. However, my commissioner talks about order from above. I think as we execute the orders from above, individual and personally, we should also need to look into other things. I was watching, I don't know, for me, I don't know how to see the AI generated photos or whatever it is. But what happened in Barara about that young girl who was being ordered to remove her dress? I think such orders, if it comes, whoever is executing it should also take into consideration certain other things. For me, I think the best thing should have been to remove her from the top of the vehicle and bring her down and taken to wherever she could be taken, other than being ordered to remove the dress. That was very unfortunate. For the sake of human rights and election and all that, civil society, including Lango Civil Society Network, has already made proposal for reforms, policy issues. One of them is election financing. We also proposed restoration of term limits We are not talking about age limits, but we are looking at term limits. Because we know when you take about, however bad that leader is, if you give him about 10 years, you can persevere with the situation, hoping that another good one will come after 10 years. And also, we are looking at the size of our parliament and many other reforms that we have proposed to the Parliament of Uganda.
Thank you.
We believe they will change this. But let's work on the issue of violence. Let's look at the society that we live in. Let's look at the community that we live in. And I appeal to the candidates, especially looking at the young people. We need to make this election meaningful in a way that when you are going out, children should not be part of the team. They are so vulnerable and anything can happen on them. And I think this is where the candidates need to take serious responsibility in knowing who is going with that person, so that we keep away these children from the risks that come along with the election process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Yes, Patrick.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this great meeting. It has been a very good day for us, the media and the other stakeholders. As media, we are very committed and we pledge our total commitment to ensure that there is free and fair election. We also advise the police, the security personnel to always collaborate with us, try to follow your line. We shall also follow our line. Other stakeholders will also do the same. If we do this together, we shall have a very successful 2026 election. Then, on the issue of the other colleagues of ours who was mishandled by a particular group of people, we advise the police to do their needful, investigate, and conclude the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, moderator. First of all, I want to send this message to whoever is referred to as a duty bearer. And the duty bearers here are people who are supposed to deliver services for and on behalf of the people. And what I would want to suggest is that we need to ensure that all our actions are backed by the law. If we are following the law to the letter, I think we would have no problem. But because somehow, and we put aside the law and use other things other than the law, we have seen what we have been talking about. As duty bearers, our role is to protect the process, to guide the process, but not to influence the outcome of an election. The moment you see your actions are aligned towards influencing who wins, who carries the day, and you're a duty bearer, just know you are off the rail. And then to the political actors, the political parties, candidates, and their agents, I think it's important to know that it is important to know that we must win. But winning alone without paying attention to the due processes, how you win matters. And I want to request the Office of the Electoral Commission that we have codes of conduct. And some of them, I think, have very severe penalties. I think we need to get to a point where we invoke some of these, penalties for people to come to their, to begin following what they ought to do. As a commission, we want to thank everyone for who have participated in this dialogue today. We will continue to do our part. And I want to say here that as a commission, we are mandated to deliver civic education in this country. We are trying our best amid its very, very limited resources, but we want to thank the media house, some of the media houses in this region that have been able to give us opportunities to at least interact with the community from time to time. I want to thank Radio Wa for giving us every Thursday of the week. We are on radio, deliberating on issues of civic duties and responsibilities of citizens. Even after here, we shall be going to the radio to talk about issues of civic duties and responsibilities arising from this dialogue. So we also want to call upon any other radio station in partnership with the stakeholders here together. If we join hands, we can make a difference, especially in this sub-region. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Let's put our hands together for the panelists. Let's appreciate them. You've been wonderful citizens of our country. And now we ask of you to disengage. You can now occupy your previous seats. We're proud of you. And whatever they said, how they said it, cannot be counted on the moderator, neither the organizers. We are only doing our job to get the best out of them. Thank you. You're protected, I know. Thank you, Honorable Daniel and the team. Thank you. It's been wonderful. We're quickly going to transition as the team sets up for the regional police commander. We're now going to talk human rights and elections from the lens of security. We have ACP Nganizi Wesley. We have worked very well with a number of them, and I'm glad. I think he came here recently. He has not yet taken long here. This was an opportunity for a number of us to get to know him. Hopefully, he will stay along the elections, and we work together on many fronts. You're welcome to Lango sub-region. We like to debate, and anybody who is intellectually viable, we talk. I think Lango is, if you hear the radios in the mornings, they are talking everywhere. They have very beautiful ideas, except we need to be turning those ideas to useful actions. So put your hands together to welcome him as the team sets up for him. He has a presentation. He has a presentation to make, and I think they're setting the PowerPoint. But it doesn't stop you, sir, from taking over. This time it's already yours. Welcome. Yes. Okay. Stage is used. I think for branding purposes, that has got to move closer there. Thank you.
The representatives of the president, the RCC and the RDCs here, the Office of Uganda Human Rights Commission, the Electoral Commission, the senior citizens who are here, especially Honorable Daniel, Maratuba, and the Mama, the senior security officers, the representatives of political parties, the civil society organization, the representative of the cultural institution, first Deputy Prime Minister, the media, the youth, very important people, Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Assistant Commissioner of Police, Wesley Nganizi, and I am the Regional Police Commander of Choga North. Choga North takes the districts of Rango sub-region. So I'm here in that capacity. I was invited here with my team, senior officers here from the security agencies, to make a presentation and also to share with you. I think is something happening?
Yes, I'm still waiting for them.
Good. I can continue to make opening remarks. Actually, before I go on presentation, I wanted to make some remarks. And one is to thank the organizers of this dialogue, who are the Uganda Human Rights Commission. This is a very important meeting. And from the presentations of the previous speakers, the remarks from members, the panel, you can see that this is a very important exercise. It creates understanding of each other, learning, coordination, and benchmarking, which is very, very important in handling our challenges. And personally, from experience, for the last time I've been in this work of mine, which is not a short time, it's close to 2 decades. That's not a short time. And my personal experience, I believe dialogue, if it's done in good faith, it has the capacity to solve our problems by 95%. Because I've used it and really, you could see that the results are there. So the organizers have done something very good. Very good. Yes, sensitization, education, and understanding each other. Those are some of the benefits you can get from such interaction. Because one of the speakers was worried of the police presence here. I don't think after this meeting he will be worried to go to any officer here or to any office and tell us what he thinks we can do better. So that's very important. In the same vein, I also want to make, like many people have observed, especially Commissioner Okero, that some of these things we are doing are not very easy. And if there is a mistake, there's a tendency, if there is a mistake in one place, you categorize everybody as the same. And me, I don't come from that background. If one person makes a mistake, that doesn't mean that everybody is bad. Like for police, really, we are desirous to ensure that we are fair and work with everybody, because peace, security, and peace is our trade. So when we don't work with all of you, then it compromises our core responsibility. So if there is a mistake somewhere by an officer, these officers, they come from society. Like the moderator was saying, that how people, where are we coming from? We people from security and the other people. So if one of us makes a mistake, it doesn't mean that all of us are doing very bad. I've been in police elections in different places. And I really want to believe that the police does good work. Otherwise, how would we elect everybody? Chairman, C5, members of parliament, who are not very few throughout the country. Everybody. So if we are not doing good work, I would really be having chaos. But we are all here talking, and tomorrow people will be elected in different positions, and life will go on. So that is the remarks I wanted to make. Okay, good. So I can buy more time. So I'm very happy as a new person here. Actually, this one I can be using it a commercial break as Mr. Ogwara gets ready. When I was interacting with some officers when on the line, actually they're journalists, they were saying things are hot here, things are hot here. I said, my friend, election is a very serious business. Actually, here you are much better. I've been here for 2 weeks. But when I check my reports, I find they are good. You're doing very well, all of you, by the way. Very well. Because in 2011, I was in Kabaragara as a DPC. Kabaragara is a hotspot area. In 2016, I was regional police commander in Kampala North. That's where I oversaw elections there. Very contentious ground, because it takes very difficult places. 2021, I was the regional police commander in Ergon. I was in Mbare. So now God has brought me here for 2026. So really, I was telling them that from really the short time I've been here, the quick appreciation I can make is that we're doing well. And I'm not surprised that you are here discussing good things, which you can do to perfect it. This is something we have to keep doing, perfecting. Sometimes with, of course, the setbacks. And like Commissioner said, when they elected Trump in America, I normally take time to watch news also and follow global events. And Obama said, this is the problem for America. And actually, we have been trying to perfect this thing for the last 250 years. But sometimes we step back, sometimes step forward. So if there's a problem, we don't have to lose hope. We can come back together and say, how do we improve ourselves and perfect what we are doing, which is not easy, by the way. Because I read somewhere that there's no human enterprise which is perfect. It's only enterprises of God. But the ones of human beings, there will be problems. Yes. So I think those are the remarks I wanted to make before I go to my presentation. I think we are sorry for the miscoordination. It should have come early. But still, that's what I'm talking about. That the human enterprises always have faults. You can see my presentation, very simple thing. It's not here. It should have been already when we are just reaching here. And that's what I'm saying, that human enterprises are like that. Yes, they're always. In fact, I read it from one of the most reputable institutions in the world. And one of the officers said, there's something I've been observing in your institution, which makes me think that there is no human enterprise which is perfect. So this debate is intended to improve our methods of work. Actually, for us in security, we say that there is no operation which can go without something missing, no matter how much you plan. Yes. So me, when I see people pushing, I say, no, these are normal things. Things will be fine. And you can improve next time. That's my belief, and it's what I've seen over time. Okay, good. Very good. Thank you so much. Those are my names. You know, some people think when they read my name, they read it like a Japanese name, that Naganizi. But I'm called Nganizi. Wesley. Some call it Naganizi, and actually, when you ask my names, I know my right to make it easier. And sometimes I joke that I also don't know how to pronounce my names. So introduction is there. We are discussing the role of security agencies, police, in brackets. When I say police, I'm not meaning police alone. And it will be down, you'll see when you go down that police means everybody in security. In elections, balancing security and civic liberties. Introduction, police is an institution which is established by the Constitution in Article 211. And can go to the next because that is obvious. We are here by the Constitution. And the functions of the police, as provided in Article 212, are as follows: protect life and property, which I think is the most important. Protect life and property. Actually, although they talk of four functions, but all of them are to support the first one. Because why would you preserve law and order? It's to protect life and property. If there is no law and order, then there's a threat to everything. Prevent and detect crime. Again, to secure the first objective. And then to cooperate with civilian authority and other security organs established under the Constitution and with the population generally. I think it was not copied verbatim. Verbatim says it is to cooperate with other security agencies which are established by the Constitution, the local leaders and the population at large. If you quote verbatim, that's what it means. So, and that's why I say police work with our brothers in security. When we are doing normal things of police, we do. But when the event is big and we think it is above us, we may not stand alone, then we invoke that clause of the Constitution. And then UPDF comes in, the prison is coming, the intelligence comes in, and even good citizens, because the Constitution says we work with also the population. Rules of security in electoral process. Election is a process and not an event. I think one of the speakers mentioned it. And the police role in electoral process begins from registration of voters. Because they normally want security when they are registering. Party primaries, we have been there together. Campaign periods, you have been seeing us everywhere. Voting and declaration of results, as well as securing the aftermath of the general elections. Next. The police general is expected to provide a secure and conducive environment for citizens to express their choice of voting whoever they decide to vote for, as enshrined in the Constitution under Article 59, Clause 1. And this is achieved by activities such as guarding electoral commission offices, guarding the electoral office officials such as registrars, presiding officers, foreign assistants, candidate agents, etc. Next. Ensuring safety of voters, candidates, representatives of political parties, escorting election materials such as computers, biometric equipments, election communication systems. In the course of securing conducive environment, police is expected to detect crime and arrest those who break the electoral laws and prosecute them before courts of law. This one we do. Role of security agencies, balancing security with civic liberties. While ensuring order, at times there is a misunderstanding of the role of the police in preserving civic liberties of the citizens. And that's where most queries come from. And of course, the answers are in the dialogue we are having. Balancing security and civic liberties will not be a delicate matter if all stakeholders in the electoral process do what is required of them. The parliament, key stakeholder, electoral commission, political parties and their candidates and the supporters. The candidates, their agents, voters are expected to play their part by following the laws and regulations. I think there's also a problem here sometimes. There are some people who state even publicly that for them they cannot follow the laws, which creates a problem for us. But the answer again is in our dialogue. Some actors, political actors, have turned politics as a high-stake enterprise where they don't envisage a situation of losing. Because politics, it is just two scenarios. You either win or you lose. When we are at Makerere, they have the principle that you either lose or we win, or who remembers better than me? It's also many years since I left Makerere. There are some young people here. Oh, the rules, So some people tell you that for us, we shall not rules. And it's not only here, by the way, like the commissioner said it. Even Trump, I remember when he was contesting with Hillary Clinton, they asked him that what will happen if he lose? Will you accept defeat? He said, I will not. I think Honorable Daniel, you remember that. But I will not accept a loss. And of course, you can see the consequence. The consequence was that variance which he's talking about. So we have those scenarios also here. And that's the reason election is that sometimes the chaotic variant and the electoral environment is sometimes tense. But if you have to be fair and honest and know that I'm going there to explain my issues, if people don't accept them, then life goes on. It would reduce the tempo, and some of these problems can be avoided. Security agencies, like other duty bearers, are expected to promote, protect, and uphold human rights and the fundamental freedoms of the people as provided for in Article 20, Clause 2 of the Constitution of Uganda. It's our core responsibility to protect the rights of the people, and we do it as much as we can in a prevailing situation. However, there is a general limitation on enjoyment of rights and freedoms as enshrined in Article 43 of the Constitution of Uganda, which provides for limitations where the enjoyment prejudices rights and freedoms of others, which have to be justifiable in a free and democratic society. That's where actually we find most of the problems. There are some people who think their rights are absolute. Then the others who say that there is no right which is absolute. Because there are those who think that they are. So that means balancing it there becomes it wouldn't be a big problem really. But given the background that someone who says for me, I will either win or they lose. So that's a background which creates the challenge for security forces. But we've been trying, as I stated in my opening remarks, that it will do work. Now I'm from Chisoro, so I'm still adjusting to the ground here. In geography, we use to orienting to the ground. So it's a bit hot for me, but it's fine. So it is usually on the basis of this limitation that the police are blamed for infringing on civil liberties, but the actions are backed by the law. Backed by the law. Because if we allow everybody to assemble where you want, some people will go to assemble in the market, and no market, there are delicate things there. And too, by the way, there's something which many people don't discuss. Because security, we are privy to some information which other people may not know. The journalists may not know, the civil society may not know, even the candidates themselves may not know. Some people disguise that they are supporters, but they are coming with other intentions to commit crimes. It has happened. They have talked about theft, robberies which take place during those rallies. So if you don't agree with the security, because for us we have to protect life and property. We have seen scenarios where non-compliance causes destruction of property and even injures people. So there's a problem there. So we need to act in good faith in order to avoid that misunderstanding, so that we're able to protect even non-actors in political activities. There are foreigners who are moving here who have an interest. They are non-Ugandans, they are moving and they are robbed. There are those people who went to Officer Okema. Say, you people help us, some goons we are hearing they are coming to rob us. So when you say, please here, because of ABC, don't pass here, say there is a problem. But there is a need here to cooperate with security. Because we have achieved a lot. And we can achieve more if we are cooperating. Because we are aware that everybody is supposed to campaign. If you have been registered, you have been nominated, you're supposed to campaign. So we can't be enemies. Security and civil liberties are able to be handled by the force, in the police force, human rights. Actually, this is a very important thing. Because when you talk about human rights, you think police is not aware is alien to human rights. But our institution has a policy on human rights document which guides us. So we are not strangers to these things. We study them in school, we practice them. It's a policy of the institution, of the force. So they aid us. They provide for how to manage public assemblies, use of force, and firearms, policing elections, which are multiplying the principles, human rights-based approaches to policing, such as we have these things: accountability. Police officers are individually answerable if they fail to observe human rights. And some officers have been taken to court individually. Police has also taken disciplinary measures against officers who violate human rights because we have guidelines which are clear. So accountability, whatever we do, we know tomorrow we shall explain. Transparency. Police officers should apply the law and perform their duties in an open manner and in good faith. There's a principle: equality and non-discrimination, treating everyone with equality and without discrimination. Participation and inclusion. Law enforcement requires the full participation of all stakeholders, including duty bearers and rights holders. That's why, for me, I was very happy when you invited me, because we were supposed to work together to ensure that we have peace in our region and business, normal business goes on. Rule of law. Every act of police officer must be within the law and accordance with human rights standards. Because for us in police, we drive our actions are based on law. If there is no law, we don't act. So it is one of the provisions of one of the provisions of our policy. Police should carry out their duties impartially and without discrimination on such grounds as race, religion, or political party. Police is to protect and respect human rights of all participants in elections for both candidates and their supporters. Police, all the candidates, supporters. In most places we have done, and it's our interest to do it. Where there is a problem, it's also not good to sit here and we say, yeah, we saw a scenario somewhere and the police was wrong, without understanding the context. Because it would be good to study every case. If you saw a case in a place, another direction, so it cannot be generalized to say these ones have made a mistake. You need to have conducted really an investigation, or interact at least with the parties, interact with the police, interact with those people you think who have not got fairness, or whom we think their rights have been violated. Because as we agreed, even in the law, that there is no right which is absolute. So it's not good to apportion blame really. Like me, as a police officer, I'm always hesitant to apportion blame before listening to everybody. Because you end up blaming an innocent person or party. Police to maintain and preserve social order so that democratic political processes can be conducted constitutionally and legally. Social order, so that there is no breakdown in order, law and order. Police to promptly investigate election-related crimes. There's an officer who introduced himself as in charge political, media, and election-related crimes. Yeah, so it's something we take as very important, and the police has a department responsible for that, and it's cascaded at the region and the districts, because we're interested in ensuring that the rights are protected, and of course, rights are threatened by those crimes which are electoral-related. Ensure that officers are professional, non-partisan, impartial, and able to comply with the demands of democratic policing. Democratic policing, very difficult thing. Because I remember when I was in training school, they taught us something. There was a topic which I always remember every time. And the topic was challenges of policing in a free and democratic society. It involves a lot of debate and a lot of mathematics. But that's what we are supposed to do, and that's what we really do. That's what we do. in most cases, in almost all the times. So those are the issues I wanted to, I thought of. And before I go to conclusion, again, I was told somewhere when I was doing these senior courses that in adult arrangement, every answer is correct. So this is my presentation. I know all of you will be having some ideas which will also be correct. Even me, I've been correct in presenting this. So that's very good. Conclusion, let's get conclusion. Balancing the provision of security during elections with civic liberties is a core principle in the Uganda police human rights policy. And if strictly adhered to by the police officers in the course of their duties, together with responsive actions of the political actors, a harmonious relationship of security and civil liberties will be realized. Yes, so even if police by the way were doing our things properly, and then the other parties are not doing the other actors are not doing the right things, we shall still be below the mark. So the calls for cooperation, restraint from all actors, and trust. And then we shall balance the two. Shall protect elections, create peace and security, and also respect the rights and liberties of the citizens. So I think that's what I was able to mobilize in a very short time. I think I was told yesterday, but one evening. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to work with you. My office is open to everybody. If there is any matter, come and we share notes. We are willing to improve, to listen to advice and guidance because you are the ones with information and interested to have really a peaceful election in our region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Afande, ACP, Wesley. That was great. So those who talk about human rights, they think you are not humans and you don't know rights. We all went to the school and went different ways. So I think that came clear. You know, sometimes when you say I'm an activist, I'm civil society, I'm this, you think the guys in forces are not informed. I think he's very informed. Let's appreciate him. Good. Our country is making tremendous progress. And I think that those who are in the forces now are very, very enlightened. And when you are engaging with them intellectually, you find there's no difference. We're just in different spaces. So we really appreciate. But those old days also, Omar Marimori, what? Their names alone were very dangerous. Eh? So we are glad that we can now have this kind of engagement with the security forces. We talk about each other. We go to weddings together. Let's be friends. Let's build one nation. Let's work together. Thank you. I think the table has been turned around. We're going to do two things at once. In case you need the mic, also give us way forward and a commitment. Don't just talk as if others are the ones going to work. All of us here are leaders. So in your own space, as a citizen, as a leader, given all that we have learned today, what is the commitment? What is your recommendation to who? And who is going to whip us to make sure that we have done those things? I hope that Nicholas and the team, we will be able to meet again to evaluate how far we have gone. Because when we commit and there's no accountability mechanism, we are also in problems. Sometimes we'll meet again next time after again many years. So we hope that you'll, along the way, as you monitor the situation, if things are not happening well, can you invite us back and say what happened again? Because we are all leaders of different platoons. Okay. You know, my eyes are on you, Steward. So I think you had raised your hand before lunch. I have not forgotten. And now you can pick it up from there, even as a media player.
Thank you so much, the moderator, for your eyes being on me since I'd raised before lunch. From the presentation taken from the DPC. Thank you so much for your presentation. Allow me to start by appreciating you. I will pick now, I will not consume much of the time. I will pick from the perspective of the media. Earlier on, I had certain points to put forward, but due to time, that time has gone, and I think people elaborated more on that. But on the perspective of the media and the security forces, for the times I've been in this space of journalism, I've learned something about journalism and the security. It reached a point whereby the journalist and the security look like they're chasing a common interest somewhere. Not only in politics, even in other issues. I've done investigative stories with colleagues in the field of journalism. And you find at a point you meet with the police, you'll either work together when you have one interest, or you'll clash when you have different interests. Probably when the interest is about money, in a case, we have always clashed with the police. The police is looking for money, and the journalist is also looking for money in a very important matter. And you all have this conflict of interest, and you end up clashing. Who should take what? Who should take what from where? You are trying to block me and all those. We have met in the field with others, not those who are here, but others in the security sector. But now I would like that we need to work together. I would like to put this forward that we need to work together. And I'm going straight now to my ways forward. One, as journalists, we need a dialogue with the police in this election period. We need some dialogue with the police, and whoever can organize, we are welcoming as journalists. We need to sit down and agree on the modes of operation so that we don't clash where we are supposed to do our jobs and our work effectively and respectively. We don't clash there. That's one. Two, to all the stakeholders here, I've also seen a trend, and this trend is becoming disturbing to me specifically. Whenever it comes to a political season, there is a tendency of all of us leaving other important aspects of the society, other important aspects of life, and we all want to concentrate in politics. Everyone is just in politics. Even in the media, we leave other social issues, we leave other community issues and we are there on politics. Even the community, everyone is running after politicians, people leaving their businesses running after politicians. I do shows production, and there is this scenario whereby you find a presenter coming to you with a script, and in the script is the presenter want to host someone to talk about technical education, but this is a politician right at this time. And you ask yourself, why do you want to ask this engineer to talk about technical education? Who is contesting? Why now? I've given an example. So it is cutting across. We need to go back and tell the community it is not only politics now. After politics, how will you survive? Those people beating people in politicians' rallies, they have left their businesses. They have left other important things to do. You'll find in a political rally, so many police officers are all there surrounding people there, and they're perpetrators of criminals somewhere. So I think to all of us as stakeholders, let us also take other important aspect of life during this this period of politics to be important equally. Lastly, these will be the questions to the last the presenter, to the police. One of the key core roles of the police is to protect life and the property. But also, I have it we have on records scenarios whereby police have been reportedly killing and taking lives. May you also let us be informed, under what circumstances are you allowed to take life? So that we know when the life is taken by a police officer during the political period, it is within the law. It is not outside the law. I think with the due respect, I'm stopping here. Thank you. With that question.
Thank you so much, Stewart. The microphone is up for grabs in case you need it. The Electoral Commission is here. Yes, guidance.
would I be right to say that the topic before us is the role of security agencies, balancing security and civil liberties in election? Am I right?
Yes.
So I want to thank you, Regional Police Commander, for your presentation. Because if we don't look at that, the role of security agencies, I'm not going to speak, but I just want us to come to that, the role of security agencies. And when we say security agencies, we are not talking about police only. We are talking about even the army, even the intelligence, and others. And it is saying balancing security and civil liberties. So when the period of election is there, the role of the security forces changes a bit, because they have to ensure that the election is peacefully carried out. Now the question is, there are people in contesting election, including the president and ministers and MPs, they are still in position, executive position. Now, how should security forces take orders from there, balancing security and civil liberties? Because the security forces now are protecting not only the people in government who want to continue, but also those who want to defeat those in government through election. So it is a very, to me, it is a very interesting topic. I'm not going to say much, but I just want to guide. Let us think about it. Do we take the command at that time? Who should give command? Who should do what? What should they do? How independent, how balanced should security forces be during election? Because I can see tear gas being looped, being given in a certain direction to a certain group, but security forces, tear gas is never thrown to the other political parties. For example, I've never had NRM security tear gas being thrown at NRM rallies and so on. Why should security forces throw tear gases and other matters only against the other one?
Thank you.
So that is the point. And it is a very important, highly selected topic. So I think we should now leave the issue of press people. Let's go to security forces.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good. And Mose knows that an indisciplined child is always the one sometimes dealt with. So, okay. Electoral Commission, you have some questions there. People are giving money, by the way, according to some ESAs, and you have issued guidelines. Are you sure you are able to buy it? Because you're making poor Ugandans who are talented to lead not able to lead. Because imagine if in a crowd of 10,000 people, you have to give 2,000. Sons of poor people will not survive, daughters who can't. Will elections really be free and fair?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Elections will be fair and free, though the choice of the candidates will be compromised. Because once you commercialize elections in the form of bribes, which is even illegal, you are compromising the choice that the voters will make. So the Commission condemns bribery, which has now become commercialized effect. And to that effect, there are penalties. And even in the guidelines that we issued recently, The Commission is seriously emphasizing that. Although we shall need our partners to cover that vice, I'm sure, and I know that it's not easy, but if the candidates themselves would know the impact of that, then they wouldn't abate it. But of course, we know that elections nowadays are a do or die. Some people don't prefer campaigns, they prefer to buy the elections. So we condemn it. My colleague or friend Omara Matthew had a concern about technology being used by the commission in elections. In my submission, I said that the main tool of elections is the register. The BVVK machine will be supplementing. We shall not use only the BVVK machine. And maybe to add on about the disabled people, you are aware that during polling days, where we have our colleagues that are incapacitated and cannot see, they are allowed to come with a person that will help them tick the ballot in the favor of the candidate they prefer. However, we only allow one person to help another. We don't have an expert that knows the choices of the disabled people so that they keep on casting votes for them. Regarding the issue of the journalists, I received the complaint officially. They have lodged the complaint, and I've written to those concerned. I'm waiting for their response. But as we have discussed here, we request that journalists become professional and balanced so that we don't cause reactions, because reaction can cause a reaction. I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
And as you requested, I commit. Yes, please.
We are voting for MPs representing person with disabilities on 19th January.
Yes.
They said there is election for person with disabilities at the lower level, at the local government, on the same 19th January for sub-county levels.
Yes, well.
Please, returning officer, we have some of the delegates that they are going to vote for the MP and their contestant. How are we going to consider this matter? Is it not preferred, is it not possible, at least, to organize another day for the MP? That is my concern.
Okay. Thank you very much. I've taken note of that, and I will escalate it to management. So as requested, yeah, I pledge and commit that really I should do what is required so that we have peaceful elections. Let me give my colleague, the returning officer of Dokoro, to say something.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. All protocol observed. My name is Otim Moses. I'm the district returning officer, Dokolo. I wanted to respond to some things, especially regarding money. A lot has been talked about the commercialization of politics. But money itself is not a bad thing. But we need to understand, what does the law say? By law, political parties are allowed to mobilize resources, except from foreign donors for their political activities. And as you can see, no political party can achieve its activities without resources. And you find that sometimes when they go for rallies, they have to facilitate their voters in terms of refreshment or drinks or food. That in itself is not illegal. However, when it comes to bribery, and bribery is in the sense that somebody is being given money to induce them to either vote in a particular way or to refrain from voting. Now, that is illegal. And when you look at Electoral Commission as a body, we only issue guidelines, regulations, and so on. And then there's the law. And the implementation of these regulations, guidelines, is not only the duty of Electoral Commission. It is concerns all of us citizens. First and foremost, all of us here, we are number one citizens before our different ranks. And each citizen has a civic duty to perform in the democracy of this country. If you witness somebody offering a bribe, or if you witness a voter soliciting a bribe, and you keep quiet with it, you don't go and report it, then who is to blame? Earlier on, our colleague in the police said that they cannot be the complainant, then they do the investigation, and then they make the decision. Complaints should arise from any citizen who has a duty to perform in the democracy of this country.
Okay.
Then,
Thank you.
once that is done, we can have a peaceful election.
Thank
the
you.
other issue I wanted to talk about
Just briefly so that
is about, somebody talked about the issue of votes being stolen. I want to assure the public here that the Electoral Commission organizes election in a very transparent manner. First and foremost, at every polling station, any candidate or political party is entitled to 2 agents at the polling station. And these agents are supposed to witness the polling process. After the vote counting, they are supposed to get a copy of the declaration of result form, which they can use to follow up results. Now, in my role as an officer, one of the things I've observed, and it's growing, is a situation where agents have become double agents. And sometimes they are deployed by their political parties,
But they
but
work
they
for
go
other
and pick
groups.
something. They even forget to sign the declaration of result form, or they sign and move away before results are entered. So I want to advise everyone, the candidates, the political parties, please look into your house as you deploy agents to pick your results. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say something serious about money, but now it seems we just have to look for money. Because it can be facilitation, refreshment. Because now, if you say evidence, police will say, so produce evidence, but we saw it being given. They may say, even by the way, countries are very smart. When they finish talking, they leave. Even if people are getting money, there's no mention anywhere that I said people are going to get money. Maybe supporters were trying to support themselves. So you see the argument, at the end of the day, we can't hold anybody culpable. It's a very complex situation, unless we really get serious with it.
Maybe to clarify something.
Yes.
Other than giving money, candidates are allowed to give their supporters refreshments, food and drinks. At their cost, they're allowed.
What about if they give in monetary terms?
No.
It
They're
must
not
be
allowed.
10,000 people with the food is not easy.
Excuse me.
Okay.
That's why I said that every citizen is duty bound. If somebody comes and offers you a bribe, you have to take that initiative to go and report it to the
Okay.
police or to the Electoral Commission and file a complaint.
Good.
In the same manner, if you see somebody is offering a bribe, please do the same. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's comment, commitment, recommendation, action. Fande Komakechi is here. Just briefly, I wanted us to close before or around 4:30. We are now left with, if we can use less than 10 minutes, we will take photos,
Thank you,
closing processes.
Thank you, the moderator.
Thank you, Afande.
I wish to extend my sincere appreciation to Uganda Human Rights Commission for this initiative. The subject matter, elections and human rights. My personal take on this, going right from your opening statements, we are here as duty bearers. Uganda rests on our shoulders. Yeah. The seed we are nurturing today is a seed that we are going to leave for the generations to come.
True.
We shall go. Uganda will remain. But the legacy we shall plant will live on forever. And therefore, in this house, this evening, it starts with us. You rightly call it a dialogue. We must ask ourselves, when we sit on a round table, do we arrive at a mature decision? Mr. Moderator,
yes, sir.
Personally, I was born in 1974. 1979, at the age of 5 years, during the takeover of the government of Idi Amin, when it was being driven, I was 5. I walked 80 kilometers at the age of 5. And that's why I want to approach this discussion here. Looking for safety. At that time, Arua was extremely hostile. There was nothing called life in Arua, because the only thing that we were witnessing was Sabasaba. We were separated from our parents that were traced after 1 week to be found in a magnitude of people. Fast forward 1985, I witnessed another turbulent time in Uganda when Lutua took over government. As we were settling down, 1986 came in, another change of government. Today, I am 51 years. My eldest daughter, born in 1995, and a follower in 1997, went to school and have graduated without knowing what is called war in Uganda.
Correct.
I paid the price, but my children, from nursery to university and getting jobs, they have never known what's called war. But I saw war.
True.
At the age of 5, I saw men and women being butchered. I saw people being shot dead in the house and set on fire. But today, 51 years later, I am here, we're enjoying peace. I am only seeing one thing, an element of radicalization. We seem to be creating now a radicalized generation. And this is coming from mentorship and parenting.
True.
The words I speak it into my children. In the house, if I don't promote dialogue in my house, my children will never learn dialogue. If between me and my wife, settling up dispute is through fighting, that is what I'm going to hand over to my children. As duty bearers, as citizens of this country, I'm happy in this house we have several generations. Some have even seen more than I have seen. When we look at presidents, where is Uganda today? When we look at presidents, where is Uganda today? Within its own neighboring countries, within Africa, where is Uganda? And that's why I'm saying we have a very big duty to perform. Because you may be sitting here, when you look at the story of Rwanda, one priest made one statement, and that statement costed so many lives. And therefore, we speak life and death through our tongue.
Correct.
From the time when we started here, moderator, I already observed an element of intolerance. As a citizen of this country, we need to cultivate the culture of tolerance. But I saw a little bit of a flare, even here in this room, among us, the educated. I saw an element of intolerance. Now, if we who are the elites, the educated, even here within a very short time, we can see an element of intolerance, what of our other citizens who are not as privileged as us to have gone to school, who can be able to reason and to debate? We need to cultivate the culture of tolerance. If we shall have a Uganda, that will be a Uganda for us and our generations to come. Trust me, once we set the seeds of hostility or violence, it will consume all of us. No one will be spared.
Thank you, sir.
One time, Honorable Bidandi Saleh said, if you want to test peace, pick salt and drop in a cup of milk and see how long it takes to go bad. Nicholas know it. For me, this is I say about Lango standards. I'm happy with this dialogue that we are setting a standard for Lango. What do we want in Lango? In this room, we have come from all parts of the country. When you go into the community, we have every nation here in Lango. Shall we continue to allow every nation, part of this country, people to settle in Lango, to enjoy, to call Lango a home? Okello is already here. He's proud of the name Okello. He's very proud of being called Okello. And therefore, I want only to urge us as leaders that the way we speak, the way we communicate, moderator, matters.
Yes.
Our communication, the tone we use to pass message matters to our citizens. I know election of this year has been a different election because it is more of media driven. If you look at now, social media handles are the ones who are now driving, and truth be told, this is part of the globalization. That election of this year is basically media driven. But as I conclude, I want to say one thing remains determinant. The issue of personal need and personal desire, which is driven by money. I think we have become so obsessed with the issue of money. It is money now driving the agenda. You have heard it from the media, from all the angles. It's all about money. Now, when you come here, when they were giving us a report about media houses in Lango, they said there are 16. We need to go back and look at who are the owners of the media houses. Who are the proprietors? You may find of the 16, most of these are owned by politicians.
Yeah.
These are people in private sector. What do you expect from me, a politician owning a radio station? What will be my agenda? The agenda will be mine. The employees I will recruit will be mine. And now at the end of the day, it is compromising on the quality and the standards on journalism, which we expect and we want to call them to be independent. There can never be independence. There can never be partiality. Where you know you have to bend, you have to go for the side of the bread, which is buttered. And therefore, moderator, I want to thank you and Uganda Human Rights Commission. As Uganda Prison Service, we are all aware that we are very key stakeholders in the issue of human rights in this country and election. We have already started receiving clients.
I thought so.
We have already started receiving clients out of elections. Yes. As I speak, you all know, I have some dignified guests already in my guest house out of elections. I join normally when Wesley needs me. I come in to support Wesley, not only during elections, at any time when there's this. So, as Uganda Prison Service, we want to commit ourselves that we shall always be on the side of the law.
Thank you.
And for the case of Lango, I can pledge to every stakeholder here that we are a very, very peaceful institution. And we wish that this election is a peaceful one so that none of us get bruised. I submit this for God and my country.
Thank you. Thank you, Senior. I had to leave him because he was summarizing as the final voice. Because if you have something more sophisticated than his submission, then we can hear from you. Because he brought the history, he traced our journey, he justified why we must be peaceful. And I think that's a very clear message to the young generation and those who hold power. We must not be radicalized. We may know some political science, but we can use that to build our society. If every citizen would commit that I will make a difference in my nation, then we will be looking for whom to work with, not who to destroy. Even if you have political ambition, it is noble. In the Bible says, if one desires the office of a bishop, it is a good thing. But it goes on to say, such a person must have the following characters. Must be a man who has managed well his house. A man of character. It defines the attributes. And therefore, we are hoping that transformation has happened in this room. That we did not just spend the day, but we were in a serious civic class on behalf of many citizens. And as we get outside there, we have work to do. I just hope that the journalists, the civil society, the security chiefs, the elders will work together to make sure that we model something good for Lango. That when we have any contestation, we sit down and listen to one another. Even if you are hosting talk shows, even if you are having a political debate, you're from NRM, you're from UPC, you are from NOP. Don't insult, ideate, talk issues, model the discussion based on issues. Because sometimes we just want to belittle each other. And that is not how a citizen behaves. A citizen is somebody who is assumed to be distinguished because you come from a point of responsibility and love for your country. And so anything you say, whatever you do, you are protecting your nation. You are representing your country. You people remember that people now, because of social media, watch us all over the globe. So the more carelessly you talk, people know from America. They will think that Uganda has no substance when we have brilliant people. So we must shape the debate wisely and make sure that we are modeling young people who can move forward. Like the other gentleman died telling us, don't get bitter, but get better. We have been hurt in many ways. And we have these tendencies of passing that hate to others. I've told people, some of us defeated tribalism and many things. And now, as a global citizen, you can go anywhere and work with anybody. Don't come with the mentality how you were raised somewhere. Don't look down on anybody. Know that everybody is important in the space where you find yourself, whether young or old. Because I may be 18 today, tomorrow I may be 50. But also, young people must respect the elders. Sometimes we do intergenerational conversation with the young people to let them know that not everything old is bad. You have seen the experiences here. We would not have got this wisdom. So I have been fortunate to have worked with you through today. And I want Nicholas to come. We are in the closing processes. I know that, Adson, you shared with me something you wrote about the role of media in safeguarding human rights. He has raised the same issues that have been raised here about intimidation, aggression in terms of language, hate speech, and the rest. We are hoping that police will really take interest, keen interest. Please be inviting some of the candidates when you listen to how they are talking and have a conversation with them. Just be responsible. Afande Jimmy, we should not wait until somebody complains. We cannot take it as a crime, but we can engage them because these are leaders who will come and work with us. Why not call somebody whom you hear the way they're talking is hurting the public? because we should be able to prevent. We can share as a private citizen. You can just say this is not because of my role, but as a good citizen, I think we should frame our discussions well. And some of us who lead in many spaces, that's what we do with the young people, the way they need to treat elders, respect them. If I came here with an attitude, you would have known. I would have said things maybe for my political party or whatever, but you must be balanced. When you have a responsibility, you must make sure you work with everybody. The commitments of the media, they say, on our part, the journalists also make commitments. Uphold accuracy, fairness, balance in our reporting. I please beg you do that. Maintain ethical standards, including respect for dignity and privacy. Prioritize peace-oriented and issue-based reporting rather than inflaming tensions. That's what the media has written. We acknowledge the responsibility we carry and we take it seriously. Going forward, we also propose the following. Uganda Human Rights Commission should create a regional monitoring mechanism to document and track all election-related human rights issues, including attacks on journalists, even on private citizens. Engage political parties and candidates on the importance of respecting press freedom. So that has partly come from the journalists, and I think Ola, it would be good for you to hand over this to the commission. They study and see which areas they can really pick. Now, in the closure, just have now I will be okay. Thank you. I'll be inviting Nicholas to say some things, and our father who is with us here, he will come and make some few comments. I know election is also biblical. It's in the Bible. We know that. And you know, we say God is the one who chooses leaders. And the question is how? He's able to talk to people's hearts. Have you ever gone to vote and then your heart changes? There's a way he can make you change or dream. And there's a way he participates very well in an election. Even the devil as well. So the Reverend Father will then come and bless us. He will say something small, little, and then he blesses us so that we go and work. And having said that, I want to say this word from Abraham Lincoln, who says, nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Keep your power humble, moderate your power for the good of all. Whether they are crawling on the floor, they may be disabled persons, you never know, you could have been one. But God preserved you because he knew you would do something better for others. Welcome them. Work with everybody. We look forward to working together. Please, Nicholas, I think even the best dancers, they say, will always leave the stage. It's my pleasure to welcome you, to have your final comments and briefs and direction. As we finish with the prayer, we'll have a group photo outside, a very memorable photo. We look forward to working together for God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the moderator and our esteemed stakeholders. I think let's put our hands together to appreciate the moderator once again. I think he has done a good job. Thank you so much for keeping the dialogue very lively, very interactive, and for driving the agenda for the day. Our distinguished stakeholders, I am happy that God made this day a special day where we all sit together under one roof to talk and to talk peace. And I'm very sure that from the discussions we have had, even those who came in the morning with certain issues in their heart, I think those issues somehow have left us for now. And I would want to pray that those issues should leave us forever and then we embrace, peace. We talk peace, and we act peacefully wherever we shall be going. On behalf of the Commission, I want to thank everyone who has been able to make it in this dialogue personally. Especially, I want to thank the distinguished stakeholders who, by virtue of the responsibilities of their office, really have given us very ample time to have this discussion today. I want to thank the RDCs. You are very busy people, but you have stayed up to the end. I want to thank the RPC of the police. I want to thank all the security agencies here. I also want to thank the senior citizens. Honorable Dan, thank you so much. I want to thank everyone who has really persevered up to this moment when we close. It is not an easy thing to sit the entire day as we talk, but I think this is because of the love we have for the country. This is because of the love we have for the peace that we need to enjoy in this region. One or two things. Number one, as we live here, it is our request that we make the escalation of any, violence our default setting. As I said, we need, from here going out, we need to continue talking peace, even in your home, because at your home, there are people who are going to participate in this election, and we need to continue talking peace, but we also need to continue acting peacefully in whatever forums that we shall be engaging in. As a commission, we undertake to continue performing our functions as provided for in the Constitution, but we also undertake to continue reminding you in your respective capacity offices of the responsibility that each and every one of us needs to undertake towards a free, fair, peaceful, and credible elections. A recommendation has been given to have an engagement between security and the media people. This is something that we are going to look into to see how better we can handle this. But I think in the second week of December, a few of us will be able to converge, and then probably for a half day, and then be able to talk some of the issues relating to media and then security. Then we'll also be continuing with the engagements at bilateral levels to ensure that we track progress, to ensure that we follow through the commitments that have come in this meeting. I want to thank everyone for the endeavors that we have made today. I want to thank everyone for the gains that we have made in this dialogue. And I want to thank everyone for all the deliberations that we have had. We may not have an opportunity again to meet in this big forum as before Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and probably a Happy New Year. But I also want to share with you my contacts for those who may not have it. It's very important that we stay connected, we stay coordinated in this process. My contact is 0779 00 9991. That number is as well on WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp me. You can also reach to me through voice calls. With this, I want to thank my colleagues from the Commission, Anthony, Christine, Bonnie, for making this possible. I also want to thank the management of this hotel for having, given us, offered us services for today's dialogue. Allow me now end here and invite Father to talk to us and then close the meeting with a word of prayer. I say this for God and my country. Thank you so much.
I must say I am very privileged to be one of those to talk last in this dialogue. I am not going to talk as a media personality now, but I'm going to talk to you as a priest, Reverend Father. Allow me quote this philosopher called Thomas Hobbes. He said, in the absence of law, a human being can be one of the worst and dangerous animals. And I feel for our brother Komakech and most of the senior citizens here who lived during the lawless period of time. It is my prayer that we don't go back to the period where there is no law to guide our actions. Having said that, I want to appreciate and thank all of you who turned up for this dialogue. I have a suggestion to make that the church is supposed to be the conscience of the nation. And if there is supposed to be a peaceful election, the church must participate and is going to take the higher percentage. If that is true, then I would request the commission to at least organize this kind of dialogue and call the religious leaders. Like I said, religion is supposed to be the conscience of the nation. But in Uganda, I'm already seeing that even religion has already been corrupted. They are no longer free, and they are not free to say what they are supposed to say. So to say, they have already been compromised, including the cultural leaders. Actually, in this sub-region, it is worst. Culture or the religion, the political leaders and the traditional leaders, you play a lot of role in bringing up the young ones. There was a question posed to the cultural leader over there, that what are you doing in building the nation? In Lao sub-region, I think we don't have the moral authority to talk about cultural leadership, because I have never seen confusion anywhere except in Lao, where at a given point we have two heads of the tribe. If you have two now, whom do you listen to? And unfortunately, may he so rest in peace, one of them has already gone to be with the Lord. But still, even the religious leaders, I mean, the cultural leaders, are not accepting to unite, to come together so that we have one voice for which we listen. Somebody said there is always a command, and the command comes from above, but nowhere else. Now, if we don't have anybody, or we have two or three from above, now whom do we listen to? I also want to beg the cultural leaders, please unite so that you help this nation to form the young ones. As they grow, they must grow with the cultural values in them so that we don't risk again going back to the lawless era that people once lived. I am happy that in Uganda, more than 75% of the population have nothing to compare because we have been under one president. But it is good that we have elders who are actually lived beyond our time, and they have something to compare. And if they speak, you see that they are speaking wisdom. I want to appreciate once again, Komakech. If somebody came in late for this dialogue and only heard your words, that would even be enough for somebody to go back and change. And for that matter, I thank you, and I thank all of you, the political leaders who are here, and the security personnel who are here. And then finally, the Human Rights Commission. I thank you so much for organizing this kind of a dialogue. But please, if you can only take my counsel that organize this, call the religious leader and call the cultural leaders. They have a big role to play in bringing up the young ones. May the Lord bless all of you. If I say peace be with you, please kindly answer and also with you. Because I want all of you to go home in peace and I also go home in peace. Let us start. May the peace of the Lord be with you. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Go in peace. Yes. Pastoral letter.
Audience, since independence, the Catholic Church has, in every election, issued a pastoral letter by our bishops. And they are very informative. The first one was issued by the late Archbishop Kiwanuka in 1961. And the one which the Catholic Church issued for this election of 2026 is an excellent document. And Father, I don't know whether you have seen it. Have you? And I would like this to be a basis for which the church should present its position on election. In an environment like this, we should have that pastoral letter so that people really know the wisdom from the church, especially the Catholic Church, on what it wants an election to be. Thank you very much.
Some administrative announcements. We shall be paying out to you some modest transport refund, and it's going to be paid at the desk where we registered from. But I would want to request that let's first have a group photograph
yes.
outside, and then we can then receive our transport facilitation.
Receive the modest one peacefully.
Then we also have evening tea. As we take pictures, as we receive the transport, it's being organized. Let's also partake of it because it was meant to be ours.
Yes, we bless the evening tea in Jesus' name. Amen.
taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance.
0, 0, 0.
Oh, the game people play now, every night and every day now, never meaning what they say now, never saying what they mean. They just while away the hours in their ivory towers till they're covered up with flowers in the back of a black limousine. La da 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 da, la da 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 dee. I'm talking about you and me and the games people play. Oh, we make one another cry, break our hearts when we say goodbye, cross our hearts and we hope to die that the other was to blame. Neither one ever gives in, so we gaze at our age of 10, thinking about the things that might have been, and it's a dirty, rotten shame. People walking up the street, singing glory, hallelujah, and they're trying to sock it to you in the name of the Lord. They're gonna teach you how to meditate, read your horoscope and cheat your fate, and to furthermore to hell with hate. Come on, get on board. La da da